good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Caught in the cut, hitting the cut again, man.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Which means distant thunder. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, we have our friend Bob Blake from Red Lake. Always got to get that out of the way. Bob Blake with the Solar Bear with the Solar News. Great to see you. Thanks for coming on. And how are you doing?
Wow, Robert, I'm doing incredible. Did you see all of the Democrats that got elected the other day?
Yeah.
This is simply amazing. The woman, you know, out on the East Coast, she was a CIA operative, and she was elected. And there's like I want to say like this is the first time in history there's been so many women governors.
Yeah.
In the entire country.
Well, let's back up just a second. Look what happened to St. Paul. We have an all-woman city council, and now we have a woman mayor for the first time. Whoa.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome, Robert, that you know, and let's also give a shout out to Mayor Melvin Carter, who you know, who did a great job as the St. Paul mayor. But I'm excited for this new mayor now too. To have her come along and you know, pick up where Melvin has left off. I think that this is just a wonderful opportunity for St. Paul. And I'm super excited for our city, Robert.
Let me go to the other coast and say, in California, all those millions and millions of people voting for non-human being, one thing on the ballot, that's fight back against Trump and get more and redistrict and gerrymander the Democrats and fight fire with fire. Yeah,
and I think what we're seeing here, Robert, and is just that there is a lot of people that are not happy with this current administration, and I want to say that, you know, the policies that are being implemented by this administration, you know, is really a bridge too far, Robert. And, you know, I think you're seeing it now in these, like, you know, small elections, but they're really telling a tale around the country that, you know, they're dissatisfied with what's happening. And you're seeing the Republicans now come out, and I've been looking at some of these interviews, and they're mentioning that, you know, we're in trouble, and in my opinion, Robert, I think they are. So the midterms are going to be really interesting coming up here. In, you know, what do we got? A year?
Yeah,
right?
Less than a year, I guess.
Yep. And yeah, I would be very concerned if I was them, because they better. Well, definitely Mike Johnson is going to have to get Congress back in session.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the weird things too is that, you know, all these things, we got the Epstein files, release them. Mike Johnson's blocking that by not swearing in a Democratic congressperson. And also you got the SNAP. You also have the economy hitting the crapper. And then, you know, when 40 million people aren't being fed or having support, and I don't know, Bob, how many times that guests we've had over the years has used SNAP and as a safety net. You know, Lieutenant Governor, or not Lieutenant Governor, but Lieutenant Governor, and also State Senator Mary Kunesh has mentioned that she was on it. Heather Keeler, and then the foster care, people that have foster children, they rely on it too. I mean, there's 41 million people being basically starved by the Republicans because they want their own way, and people are seeing this.
Yeah, absolutely, Robert. I mean, in my family, we've never been on SNAP or any of those assistance programs, but our family, our immediate family, a lot of them were. And so like growing up, just knowing that and knowing, how much those programs have helped, at least my immediate family, right? My cousins, my aunts, my uncles. I mean, I just don't know what the logic it is that. And the only thing I can think of is someone that uses a gold toilet.
Yeah. Well,
Is the only one that can really, I imagine myself, can rationalize that this is not important, to the rest of the country. And, Robert, we just seen the biggest, the biggest since I think it was 2009 of jobs that have been lost in the country.
yeah.
We have multiple corporations that are letting go of individuals across the country. We've got, multiple businesses that, are pulling back investments. They're unsure. I mean, Robert, all these tariff cuts, all of these policies that have been put in place by the Republicans and this administration, I'm just telling you, Robert, it is not good for that party.
Yeah, definitely. And people can see that the rich are getting richer. And I mean, the stock market's booming and we're losing jobs, all these layoffs from all these major corporations. And a lot of it has to do with the tariffs and a lot of it has to do with AI. And then you give the big CEOs a big bonus and people are losing their jobs. And I believe people are seeing who is doing this right now. And maybe they thought we'd get cheaper eggs because we voted for the orange one and that Biden was bad because the eggs went up. But here we are. Everything's going up.
And Robert, to make matters even worse, the day before the SNAP benefits were getting cut in this country, he threw a great Gatsby party at his Mar-a-Lago, whatever that place is down there in Florida.
Yeah.
And his resort. And I mean, what a big slap in the face to the American public. So I'm telling you right now, Robert, this is bad on so many fronts. I don't know. And just seeing the other day, having the Democrats win so many seats, Robert, just really, I think, gave the rest of the country hope.
Well, and I think the vote was flipped too. The Gen Z males in New York came out for the new mayor, and 34-year-old man that says he's a Democrat socialist, and I believe we all are if we like our streets plowed, right?
Right, and I mean, let's talk about that, Robert, because Mondani, the Democrats like to always find that who's really on the pulse of the country. And seeing Mondani flip or win that election in New York, I think is a tale that other folks around the country are looking at and seeing that this might be the formula for the Democratic Party. So they're going to be looking at the way that this guy ran his race. They're going to look at all the things that they're going to be taking the polls. And they're really going to try and figure out exactly, is this something that the American public are really leaning on right now? You know what I mean? And so I think it's interesting.
Definitely. Robert, I want to switch gears really quick because my ADHD is kicking in. But do we know anybody in St. Paul that could run for state representative in the new mayor's seat. It would be great if we got a Native American. And I know people reached out to me, but I'm a few blocks away from the border there. It's more like what is it? More like what is that? The Merriam Park area, kind of over that way. It'd be great if we've had you move in there and state representative Bob Blake. Oh, wow.
I Robert, that is very interesting. You brought that up because I am very interested in possibly getting back involved in politics.
Yeah.
So I think this is the time, and who knows what the future holds, but I'm definitely going to be looking into it.
Absolutely. And if I know you used to live in the kind of that area, and I know, what are you in Maplewood now, or?
I'm over on the east side of St. Paul.
Oh, that's a good area. That's a good area to run too. Absolutely. Wow,
Yeah.
this segment's gone fast, Bob. I really let's take a quick break here, and this is a great conversation we're having, and I just want to say I am with Solar Bear with the Solar News. We got a whole show with Bob, and we'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
Are you a Metro Transit rider? Join the free Riders Club and let your voice be heard. Our motto is Transit Voices United, and when you become a member, you'll participate more closely in decision-making, plus earn the opportunity for exclusive merchandise at Metro Transit events. Help improve your transit system. We value your opinion. Join at metrotransit.org/Riders Club and start being rewarded today. That's the Riders Club at metrotransit.org/Riders Club.
The Minneapolis Police Department is hiring, and we're looking for people ready to lead, serve, and reflect the communities we protect.
Whether you're a new graduate, changing careers, or already in law enforcement, there's a path for you to join our department.
With top-tier pay, full benefits, paid training, and a direct path to making a difference, this is more than a job. This is your chance to shape the future of Minneapolis Police.
Choose service. Choose leadership. Choose Minneapolis. Visit our city website to learn more.
Discover Matrilineal Memory by hobby artist Michaela Schaefer, now in view at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This evocative exhibition features paintings, poetry, and installations that explore memory and cultural preservation. Don't miss the artist talk with Michaela Schaefer on Saturday, November 15th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the gallery. Matrilineal Memory is open through December 13th. Experience art that transforms memory into connections and healing. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org.
MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans. Plus, get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We're having a fun conversation with our friend Bob Blake with Solar Bear with the Solar News and Sports. Got to remember, and Sports. Wow, we were talking about how much there was elections across the country. Votes were, city councils and things like that were going blue. It was definitely a blue tsunami, and we got to keep this going, and we have to be alert. We listen to some things that Governor Newsom's been talking about is that they're going to try and steal this election. When they had people come out for that referendum, Trump on the same day, the rally for the referendum, Trump on the same day brought out soldiers to intimidate and arrested one person that was a vendor. ICE is a bunch. You don't hear about the KKK or the Proud Boys or anything because they're all in ICE now.
Right. And the way that I understand it, Robert, is the background to become an ICE official is making a mockery of our law enforcement, I guess apparatus, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there isn't like the bar cannot be low enough to become
Right.
an ICE official, and it's just really sad, and having a brother that was a Minneapolis police officer, and
Right.
looking at how and just growing up and seeing how professional, and just seeing how he was, and how he took his job. It's so sad watching this unfold. I know for a fact that he would probably just not before the way that this is happening in that industry, so to speak. You know what I mean?
I want to say his name, Bill Blake. And when you were talking about Bill, I was getting a little emotional, and I remember him as a young man, and I've known him for years. Get a little emotional, Bob.
Yeah, and you talk about a guy who loved being a police officer, loved his profession, and really embodied that whole spirit of wanting to be a part of the community, serve the community, do it to the best of his abilities, be a professional, and you see this happening in that that law enforcement profession. This is just, I think, another part of this administration and the orange one in his attempt to bring down these systems that we in this country, held to be true for so long, right? And that disillusion that he's attempting to make with people out here, and it's just tragedy, Robert. And the other night, us, this country voting all these Democrats back in,
Mm-hmm.
and then now, Robert, you brought up before on the last one,
Yeah.
the redistricting race, the arms race, right, is on
Yeah.
because California voted to allow for redistricting, and what the economy in California is like, the fifth largest or something in the
In the
world.
world, right? Yeah.
Like just that place
Right.
right there literally runs our country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
and pays for all the poor countries that are red.
right.
I can't stand the mainstream media because they're not talking about this enough. And I am so sick of seeing people of color being interviewed about their SNAP being taken away, where it's mostly white people that are getting their SNAP taken away. There's more of them, but yet we want to show an African American lady with 5 kids and play both sides of the thing. It's ridiculous. Come on.
Right. I'm sorry, Robert, but our media has really and that's why independent media, Robert, and that's
Yeah.
why, so right now, Native Roots Radio, your show, the information you're bringing is so important right now, because it really is part of that pillar of democracy, free and fair media. And I know that the nonprofits right now are really pushing are really getting behind free and fair media right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called that free press, I think. There's a thing called free press, or free press forward, I believe, is one of the movements around that. And so I think, Robert, we're going to see a lot of that more happening coming up over the next year and 3 years. I think there's going to be a lot of support for media outlets like yourselves to be able to continue to bring, the type of information that we out here need, because I think we're starting to see the big media outlets
Yeah.
be purchased by these oligarchs.
Absolutely. And that brings to a point where, we just get barraged with news so much every day. And I forgot that the orange one was on 60 Minutes, and all they could do is give him softballs. What a disgrace. And Nora, whatever her name is, what a disgrace.
Yeah, Nora O'Donnell. I
Yeah.
saw that interview, and I couldn't believe that there wasn't there was so many more questions she could have asked.
Yeah. Get him mad and have him get up like he did before and show how much of a baby he is. But instead, they didn't have that opportunity because they didn't ask any hard questions, and they didn't bring up Epstein files at all. I wanted to see him get up and be pissed and leave.
That was amazing, Robert. And like I said, I mean, this it's so unfortunate what's happening right now. I can't believe. I think we're living in bizarro world right now. What's happening?
Absolutely.
But the one thing that we as a country can do is we can get out and vote, and we can get out this in a year and really show up and really turn the tide in Congress. And who knows, Robert? I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Johnson tries to keep the Congress out of session until November.
Well, there is some talk going on today and late last night. We'll see what happens, and it's interesting because how much are the Democrats willing to give up to move this forward, because the Republicans are finally reaching out, but we'll have to check it out because they know it's hurting. My God.
Yeah, and
Marjorie Taylor Greene, for God's sakes, even knows what's happening. She knows she won't be reelected if she doesn't do something.
Well, I mean, here's another thing. Like, I thought I would never agree with a lot of what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. And here she is actually sounding like the most logical individual in that party. The way the things that she is saying, but I think I think it's what's really interesting, Robert, is that the Democratic Party is going to have to figure out like which way they're going to go. And Ken Martin is the chair of the Democratic Party now, so from Minnesota here, and he's really going to have to wrestle with how are we going to move forward, and because I think the whole situation with that Zoran Mondani winning that mayor election out there, I think that really throws a kind of interesting crux in the Democratic Party in like which way are we going to move, because his victory in New York is huge.
Absolutely. I want to bring this up to you and see what you think, because I heard AOC speak afterwards, and basically I'm paraphrasing big time because she didn't right out say this, but I believe what she meant was he wouldn't be able to win a Democratic seat in Kentucky, let's say, but somebody that is more centered and more Kentuckian and Democrat would be able to. So I don't think all size fits one. You really, but what he did was he went out to the people, and I see a lot of our Democratic brothers and sisters that expect votes, and he went out there and went right where the people were and found out what they were, and he just hammered on affordability, all these things that they were telling him. So he was echoing back. So I don't know. I don't know if all size fits one shoe, but I do think if you get out with the people, Bob, and find out what their specific reasons are in your area, the Democratic people should be able to win big.
I totally agree with you, Robert. And I'm going to go back to James Carville and George Stephanopoulos.
Yeah.
And the whole Clinton, when they were running that machine.
It's the economy is stupid.
It's the economy. And I think that is going to be the main driver in this next election, because if you look at inflation, if you look at jobs, if you look at satisfaction of the economy, if you look at the farmer,
AI coming into the white collar jobs are going away because of AI.
Well, I mean, the farmers, though. Yeah. And let's think about AI, right? In all those big tech guys that were at the White House, that were attending those parties, that were supporting, the, the Orange One's campaign. I mean, if you look at all of that, I just see a blue tsunami coming, and the people are going to want back, what basically, let's be honest, Vice President Harris was, talking about in her campaign.
Hell, Hillary was.
Yeah, let's go back to Hillary. Yeah, Hillary was. And so I'm sorry, Robert, but I think sometimes you need to be able to share, or have something happen in order for you to really appreciate what you have.
Absolutely. Great point. What do we got in hand for the next segment here? We got like 30 seconds here. What are we going to be talking about?
I think we got the Solar Bear with the sports news, Robert.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. I'm here with our friend Bob Blake from Red Lake, and this is Native Roots Radio.
Are you a Metro Transit rider? Join the free Riders Club and let your voice be heard. Our motto is Transit Voices United, and when you become a member, you'll participate more closely in decision-making, plus earn the opportunity for exclusive merchandise at Metro Transit events. Help improve your transit system. We value your opinion. Join at metrotransit.org/Riders Club and start being rewarded today. That's the Riders Club at metrotransit.org/Riders Club.
The Minneapolis Police Department is hiring, and we're looking for people ready to lead, serve, and reflect the communities we protect.
Whether you're a new graduate, changing careers, or already in law enforcement, there's a path for you to join our department.
With top-tier pay, full benefits, paid training, and a direct path to making a difference, this is more than a job. This is your chance to shape the future of Minneapolis police.
Choose service. Choose leadership. Choose Minneapolis. Visit our city website to learn more.
Discover Matrilineal Memory by hobby artist Michaela Schaefer, now in view at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This evocative exhibition features paintings, poetry, and installations that explore memory and cultural preservation. Don't miss the Artist Talk with Michaela Schaefer on Saturday, November 15th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the gallery. Matrilineal Memory is open through December 13th. Experience art that transforms memory into connections and healing. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org.
MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans. Plus, get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
Hey Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota Private Colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. I'm Bobby Wilson. Witcha.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Native Roots Radio, and we got a new bumper there with Bobby Wilson. Hoa! It was great to see him in town, and got a lot going on here. Bob, before we get into the sports, I just want to say a couple things here. On the 23rd at Minneapolis Institute of Art, we're going to play Indian Horse, and Ajawak will be my guest, and will be a Q&A. And also on the 29th, where they're going to be showing smoke signals at 2 p.m. at Minneapolis Institute of Art. All these are free, and the tickets are going quick, so they want to know what's going on. And I got a surprise guest coming on and doing a Q&A and maybe some pictures and signing with our relatives, Bob. And that's Thomas from Smoke Signals, Dr. Evan Adams. But keep that under your hat. Don't tell anyone. Hoa.
Hoa. That is awesome, Robert.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun here at Native Roots Radio, and it all started at a little town in Iowa. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Robert, we've got the Solar Bear with the sports here, and this has been one heck of a week, Robert, with lots going on in the sports world. The trade deadline for the NFL was this week too.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So there was a lot of moves that was made in the NFL. A lot of teams are beefing up. Unfortunately, nothing really happened with the Minnesota Vikings, but I think what we were able to see at least is the future come to fruition once again in J.J. McCarthy leading the Minnesota Vikings to a win in Detroit.
Well, everybody but the center was injured. I mean, the center is still injured, but we got the offensive line back, so it looks like he's using his skills and stepping forward and throwing some great passes, and the line's doing their thing, and the defense is back.
Right. I mean, the defense had a wonderful game, and to be able to, do the job that they did against a high-powered offense like the Detroit Lions, probably, I want to just say the top three offenses in the NFL.
Bob, I don't remember, but didn't they score 50 points twice this year, or was it just once?
I think they scored twice. I mean, they're a very high-powered offense, and they can light it up almost instantly on anyone. And so, Coach Flores, the job that he did with the defense, masterful, incredible. And, there's a lot of the national sports guys that were essentially saying that, the Lions didn't play up to their speed. They didn't play up to their ability. And then I've seen some of these other national pundits basically say, well, did the Vikings just come and rise to the occasion? And I'm going to say the latter. I think the Vikings were up for this game. They wanted it more badly than the Lions. Obviously, you see the scoreboard. But there were calls in that game, and there was a touchdown that was called back.
Oh, ridiculous.
So, I mean, if you look at it, I think it was a total team game. I think JJ really did a wonderful job, and I'm super excited for the Minnesota Vikings here as we move through the rest of the season. And you're going to see some up and downs, people. There's going to be some growing pains, but I think that we just need to stick with JJ, and we just need to continue to support him. And I think that he's going to bring Minnesota a championship one day.
The defensive line, all the sacks, and then we got Rip Van Winkle back. He's been injured a lot of the years, or a lot of the year, and so the defense did look like the defense last year. And I don't know, what was it, 14 or 10 or 14 games where the Vikings won by just one score last year, and so now that's what's happening, or what happened last week, and looking forward to more. Who do we got up next week, or this week?
This coming week, the Minnesota Vikings are playing, and I'm just checking my schedule here. The Baltimore Ravens.
Is that here? Yeah, that's here.
Yep, that's going to be here.
So I'm still waiting for invite for your suite there.
Yeah, that's going to be Robert. That is going to be a difficult game. Mm-hmm. Lamar Jackson is one of the best players in the NFL. But I think that the Minnesota Vikings can pull it out. I mean, and they're at home, so I think it's going to be a defensive contest. And and let's remember too, Lamar Jackson is just got back last week from he was out like 3-4 games already from an injury. So, I think that they're going to be watching his reps. I think that if the defense rattles him early, I think that I could see Harbaugh kind of pulling back on him. So,
yeah, well, and then your injuries linger during the year, and so we'll see. But they're 3-4, or they have a losing record, and probably because a lot of it that he was out. But I'm I'm excited to see what happens if last week was a mirage, or if our guy JJ is really coming into his own, which we've all been hoping for.
Yep, exactly. And Robert, we've got another thing happened last week that was that the Green Bay lost in Lambeau to the Carolina Panthers on a last minute field goal.
Yeah.
So I mean that was a surprise. But they're going to be playing the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. So this is going to be a tough game, but I think Green Bay is going to be up for it, and I think Green Bay is going to take this one in Lambeau. So I don't see the Pack losing 2 in a row here. I don't see it happening.
They're so young, and they got a great quarterback, and they're really doing well. It's making us a little jealous here because we know how small of a window it is. Look at what's happening to Kansas City right now. I mean, they were the premier team for a good 5-6 years, and they're going to have to really push it to even make the playoffs this year, it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. And so Green Bay is going to be playing the Philadelphia Eagles at Lambeau Field. I think Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love and the rest of the squad over there is going to pull it out. But I think it's going to be a squeaker. I'm telling everybody right now, I think it's going to be a squeaker. But, Robert, and keeping in tune with the NFL right now, so many young quarterbacks are just having the season right now. Drake May, Bo Nix.
Wow.
These young quarterbacks are really lighting up the NFL. And it's really exciting to watch right now. Denver won last night against the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're they're the first 8-1 teamer. That's their it's incredible, and that was Bo Nix,
and New England's popped back here too.
Drake May.
Holy mackerel.
Drake May in New England is a surprise, and they are having a wonderful season too. And so you're looking at these young quarterbacks, J.J. McCarthy, we are watching the future of the NFL right now. Mm-hmm. And it's been super exciting to watch these guys play and win these games and pull them out the way they've been doing it. So, I think the NFL's delivering on their promise to have a very exciting season this year so far.
Well, this is a great report. We got less than a minute to go here. I just want to mention the Wild and the Timberwolves. Ant is injured, but we know if you get in the playoffs, it's like 2 seasons with these leagues. Everybody gets in the playoffs, and then you can rev it up. I remember the old days of the North Stars where that would happen those couple of years after the Olympics in 1980. They got a lot of young people and made a great run, and so the Wild really have to make a great run. And I want to just say healing prayers to Ant, one of the great basketball players in the NBA.
Yeah, and Robert, the national pundits have been really hitting the NBA for that gambling situation with Chauncey Billups and those guys. So they're really taking a hit. Yeah, they're really taking a hit right now, Robert. So I think the NBA knows that they've got some repairing that they have to do.
Hey, say it. It's the Solar Bear.
It's the Solar Bear with the sports, everyone.
Hey, we'll see you next week, Bob. It's Native Roots Radio. Have a great day. Ho! Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The Minneapolis Police Department is hiring, and we're looking for people ready to lead, serve, and reflect the communities we protect.
Whether you're a new graduate, changing careers, or already in law enforcement, there's a path for you to join our department.
With top-tier pay, full benefits, paid training, and a direct path to making a difference, this is more than a job. This is your chance to shape the future of Minneapolis police.
Choose service. Choose leadership. Choose Minneapolis. Visit our city website to learn more.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota Private Colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no 2 colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans. Plus, get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
Hi, I'm Tiergan.
And I'm Hadley.
We're 2 of the very first listeners, and we're
still listening to Native Roots Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio. I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Welcome, Wendy.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
No.
Oh!
No. Hey, wow. Hey, I want to introduce again my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many years and is a co-founder of Native Roots Radio, and we're in our 9th season, and she's been bringing us our sacred animal portion of the show for many, 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 many years. Welcome, as always, Wendy.
Thank you, Robert. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them, and I was given that name by my Dega, Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on the animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. Yeah, I have some sad news today. And this is from West 42nd Street, New York City. Yeah, a carriage horse collapsed and died in Hell's Kitchen 2 days ago, just blocks from its stable, drawing shock reactions from witnesses and reigniting scrutiny of New York City's horse-drawn carriage industry. I know you and I, Robert, have gone into the city many, many times. And
we've given them the finger, and they knew why.
I told one of them, and I don't know. I just want this to be true. I mean, I know I'm old and I don't have, many, many, many years left, but I said to one of them, your industry is going to be gone in my lifetime. He had some flavorful language for me, but anyway, a lot of cities are transferring over to these like electric carriages. They look exactly like a carriage, and they're made by electric, and instead of gas. Yeah. And the guy's still in the front, and it goes. It's just, I think, such a nostalgia when people go, and it's just such a tourist trap and attraction that people think that it's a fun thing to do while you're in New York City, but I'm going to say, just stop it. Just knock it off.
Well,
knock it off.
They have it in Stillwater too, still, don't they?
Yeah,
In
they have
Minnesota?
it around towns.
Yeah.
A lot of cities have banned it and have switched over to these electric carriages.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, but the horse, she was 15-year-old mare named Lady. She was heading back from Central Park to Clinton Stables on West 52nd Street when she stumbled and fell near the corner of West 51st Street and 11th Avenue. According to the NYPD, officers responded to a 911 call at approximately 2:28 p.m., reporting a horse in distress near West 51st Street and 11th Avenue within the Midtown North Precinct. When they arrived, police found the horse attached to the carriage lying on the ground. Police said that no arrests have been made and investigations remain ongoing. Yeah, there was a deli worker at Farmers Cafe and Market said the incident unfolded right outside their shop. Yeah, the horse was walking normally until it started turning right onto West 51st Street from 11th Avenue. He told this West 42nd Street New York City. It then appeared to shake, jump, and then fell down on its right side. The carriage driver was by himself, and he jumped down to the street and was asking us for help, but we didn't know what to do, the guy said. I mean, he's a deli worker. What does he know what to do?
What do I know?
Anybody, right? Additional workers from Clinton Stables arrived with a trailer, but Lady had already died. They tried to load the deceased horse into the trailer right away, but the police stopped them, the witness said. Christina Hansen, a veteran carriage driver and TWU Local 100 shop steward, said the industry was saddened to announce the death of Lady, describing the 15-year-old standard bred cross, that's the kind of horse she was, as a recent arrival who began work in June after passing a complete physical with no abnormalities.
15 years old, though.
I know.
And why do they keep bringing that up?
Exactly. I don't know.
Are they just acting as if it's like an old horse or something?
I don't know. Well, listen to what she said. I'm glad you brought that out. This is what the woman said. The veteran carriage driver from the stable said Lady was walking home to her stable from Central Park when she suddenly died. Hansen said, adding that sudden, unexpected deaths occur in both humans and animals. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not pulling a carriage around in the 99-degree weather with carbon monoxide cars and
traffic and beeping. And she said the industry is insisting on a full necropsy by a board certified pathologist at a university to determine the cause. Listen to this though. Council member Eric Botcher, who arrived at the scene, called Lady's collapse yet another example of needless death on the streets of New York and urged swift passage of Rider's Law, a bill he co-sponsored that would phase out city horse-drawn carriage industry by 2026. He says no amount of regulation and rules will be enough because there's a structural problem where you have horses pulling tourist carriage through midtown traffic, Botcher told West 42nd Street. Quote, cities all over the world have already made the change, and we need to do it now before another horse dies.
Amen. Jesus.
Definitely. And listen to this. Adita Bernkrant, executive director of the animal rights group New York Class, condemned the incident as part of a horrifying repeated pattern of cruelty that the city continues to allow. She accused city leaders of blocking reform efforts and ignoring public opinion, noting that 71% of New Yorkers support a ban. Bernkrant called for an immediate hearing on Rider's Law, saying the only morally acceptable path towards the end of this ongoing city sanctioned abuse once and for all. Lady's death comes just weeks after a Manhattan jury found carriage driver Ian McKever not guilty of animal cruelty charges in 2022 collapse of rider, another carriage horse who later died and was found to have cancer. That 5-day trial, this was a 5-day trial, centered on whether McKeever had overdriven rider and failed to provide proper sustenance on a sweltering August day in Hell's Kitchen.
Come on.
Yeah, jurors acquitted McKeever in under an hour following emotional testimony, conflicting expert opinions, and scrutiny of veterinary records. The case renewed debate over the safety and oversight of the city's carriage horses, and critics and defenders alike pointing to systemic issues in regulation. Staff from the Clinton stables were eventually allowed to remove the horse from the street. They moved the deceased horse into a trailer before taking it back to the stables a block away. And we will update the story as more information comes available. So we're going to follow this and see what happens.
Let's definitely follow this.
This is a horrible thing. And, it's just like kind of curious to be like, how many dogs, how many horses, horses who draw carriages die in New York City, and they said 1 to 3 deaths a year. But here's the thing: after such incidents, legislation is often proposed, right? Such as replacing horses with electric carriages. But they said that there's lack of transparency and record keeping, so it's really hard to find out what the true number of how many horses die.
That's traumatic as hell. And thanks for your update, Wendy. This is Native Roots Radio. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again for all you do.